Hey everyone, Happy New Year and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Melanie and I run my own small business called Melagurumi where I specialize in making and selling crochet plushies. To start off the new year on the right foot, I figured we should do more of a deeper clean in my office slash studio slash bunny room. We're actually almost halfway into January as of me filming this, but better late than never, right? I don't remember exactly the last time I did more of a deep clean for my room, but it's extremely long overdue. My room isn't necessarily messy per se, but I feel like the right way to describe it would be organized chaos. There's just mess and things in disarray and kind of organized piles that just need to be cleaned up, and there's a lot of dust around that needs to be taken care of. Having my workspace be neat and organized is honestly really essential in my productivity and feeling like I can get things done. So cleaning and organizing will not only help me feel a lot better right now in the moment, but it'll also kind of help reset and refresh the space as we start the new year. So far this morning, I've already cleaned the bunny space. I usually spot clean multiple times each day, but at least once a week I try to do more of a deeper clean by removing all of their items and vacuuming the whole area. Since my two bunnies live in my office and I spend the majority of each day in this room, it's really important that I stay on top of cleaning their space. But now we can finally get started on the rest of the room. It's already late afternoon, so I'm definitely not going to finish everything today, but let's just see what we can tackle today. I figured we could start with my desk first, since this is usually where I spend most of my time in this room anyways. So this entire area just needs to be wiped down. No more dust now. So I used a lot of yarn in October and my shelves are looking pretty empty right now. So I need to restock it and fill it back up again. But there are some little like stray skeins that need to be used up, but they're all kind of like falling apart. So let's make them into cakes, shall we? I grabbed this little stackable crate to place all of them in. So let's start grabbing some that needs to be winded up. Say this one can be a cake. This is like nothing, but we can still use that. What is this yarn barf? Oh my god. This one's kind of falling apart. Could become a cake. These ones for sure. This one is scary. This is what we have for ice yarns. We still have quite a few from Michaels. This is a pretty good start. I'm so excited to have the opportunity to finally try out a yarn winder for the first time, thanks to Kato, which is today's sponsor. I got this one in blue, and it's not just any regular old yarn winder, it's electric. I love to multitask, so if I can make my yarn into nice pretty cakes while doing something else, I am here for it. Let's open this and get this set up, and let's try it out. So that was basically it in terms of installation. I mean, you saw the maybe like 4 separate pieces that I put together with like the tiny screws. I was able to clamp this down on a curve actually, which is pretty nice instead of needing it at like a 90-degree angle, you know. This feels pretty secure, so I think we can get started. All right, I plugged it in, about to start it for the very first time. Let's just see how it goes. Oh no, there we go. Okay, take 2. Whoa. Look at it go. Ta-da! My very first yarn cake. It didn't turn out too bad, honestly. Let's try it with some other ones. Let's wrap this up. Very nice, very nice. Wow. As soon as you start the machine, it's pretty hands-off, which is really nice. I'm gonna keep making a few cakes and then let's see how they look. This is honestly kind of fun. Okay, I finished up caking all the ice yarns. Let's switch gears to Chenille Home Slim or Sweet Snuggles Light and see how that holds up on this. We've got quite a few choices, so let's cake these up. Yay, it looks so good. This is honestly super cool. Like, I've never winded yarn before, but this is so fun. I think if I were to use a manual one, I wouldn't be enjoying it as much because of all the hand cranking, but this electric one definitely makes life a lot easier. I really like that it stops automatically whenever it detects any like tension or pulling from the yarn, so that is super useful. Okay, so I just finished up winding up all the yarn I needed to, but before I show you guys, I need to take care of something else first. Just look at this mess. Oh my god. It's on the floor. It's all over my leggings. I need to clean this up first. Obviously, since we use chenille yarn, there's gonna be shedding expected, but this is crazy. Let me clean this up real quick. They look so nice. I mean, I feel like I need to do a better job of like starting and finishing them, just so they can be like a little bit neater and not as many loose ends around. But overall, this is so much better than the yarn barf I was working with. The difference is actually kind of insane. And now I can put these back on the shelves looking so much neater than they did before. The yarn winder starts kind of like slowing down and stopping a little bit the larger the cake ends up being. So that's just something I noticed, but it really wasn't that much of an issue. Aside from setting up the yarn and taking the cake out, it's relatively hands-free, so that's a huge plus. This was honestly such a fun first experience for trying out a yarn winder for the first time. I have no idea how I managed this long without using one before, but I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of having one now. So if you're interested in getting your own electric yarn winder, check out the link in my description below, and thank you so much again to Kato for sponsoring this video. Now let's put those cakes back where they belong. The shelves have been getting pretty empty over the past few months, so let's fill them back up. So, you know that cube shelf in my office that I just filled up with yarn? Yeah, that's not even all the yarn that I have readily available to use. For the past year and a half or so, this little hallway on the second floor has been taken over by all of my overflow yarn stock that won't fit in the cubes in my room. I already started moving things around, so it looks pretty messy right now, but I'm trying to clean up all the boxes and add more shelving in this hallway to keep everything more organized and easier to access. This way I can view all the extra colors at one glance instead of picking through them in the boxes like I am right now. My yarn stash is clearly made up of hundreds of skeins, but I still feel like I never have enough. I think it's because most of it is chenille yarn in the same colors, but I'm constantly in need of different colors. I also want to have more variety of different yarn types, but I usually like to have a project in mind before biting the bullet on new yarn. I have a few skeins of brand new bamboo and cotton yarns from like over a year ago now that I didn't have an idea for at the time, but wanted to try out eventually just because they felt so nice. I hope this isn't a me thing. Comment below if you feel the same. I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I usually order my chenille yarn through this Turkish site called Ice Yarns. They manufacture a bunch of different yarn types that I'm starting to order more of, but I've been using Chenille Baby ever since I started my business in 2021. It's slightly thinner than Premier Perfect Chunky, and I prefer Chenille Baby since it ends up being cheaper for me, but there's a noticeable difference in quality from my most recent orders, so I hope it's only a temporary issue. Otherwise, we're gonna have a problem. I also use Sweet Snuggles Light and Chenille Home Slim from Michaels, but the color options are pretty limited between the two, so I usually still gravitate to Chenille Baby for most of my amigurumi projects. I bought these white shells off Facebook Marketplace, but there's similar ones on Amazon if you search 5-tier folding shelf or something like that. They were purchased on separate occasions, which is why one of them is slightly shorter than the other. These were originally meant for my in-person events so I could have extra display shelving for my plushies, but I don't have any events planned for this year yet, so these are perfect for storing my yarn for now. Let me finish binge watching The Handmaid's Tale while putting these up, and you can see how satisfying it all looks. Alright, I know everything was kind of all over the place, sorry about that. This whole cleaning and reorganizing my room task is dragging on a little bit too long than I wanted to, so I kind of just stopped recording and finished up cleaning the rest of my room off camera. But here's what my room looks like now. There honestly hasn't been too much change in rearranging things. It was mainly just tidying up the space, cleaning up, dusting, making sure everything was still kind of like clean and in their place. I definitely could have done a lot more, but with what I have accomplished, I'm already feeling a lot more inspired in my space and there's not as much clutter around. Since I spend like 90% of my day in this room anyways, I'm really excited to see what I can create this year. I'm sorry that this wasn't the most interesting vlog. Cleaning never really is, but I have a lot of fun and exciting ideas for this year, so definitely stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!